Hey budgetly living family. Welcome back to the channel, your hub for smart budget-friendly travel across the United States. Today we're heading to a state where rugged coastlines meet evergreen forests, where working harbors sit beneath postcard-perfect lighthouses, and where centuries of maritime history still shape daily life, Maine. Maine is more than lighthouses and lobster rolls. It is Wabanaki homeland, a place of shipbuilders and sardine canneries, of poets' homes and painters' islands, of foghorns and fall foliage. From bustling Portland to the granite heights of Acadia, from windjammer towns on the mid-coast to the moose country of the North Woods, Maine delivers big experiences on a balanced budget. In this video, I will guide you through the top 10 places to visit in Maine on a budget. You will get the stories behind the places, practical travel tips, and realistic cost ranges so you can explore confidently without overspending. Stick around for 3 insider budget hacks and a 3-day Maine itinerary that ties the coast and mountains together smoothly. Let's get started. Number 1. Portland, working waterfront, arts, and America's favorite lighthouse. Historical and cultural significance. Founded in the 1600s and rebuilt after devastating fires, Portland is a small city with a big creative heart. Its old port district preserves 19th-century brick warehouses that once stored molasses, fish, and dry goods for ships sailing the Atlantic. Today, those cobblestone streets house indie galleries, coffee roasters, and bakeries where you can grab a budget breakfast before walking the piers. Just south in Cape Elizabeth stands Portland Head Light, commissioned in 1791 and often named among the most photographed lighthouses in the United States. The tower guards a rocky headland inside Fort Williams Park, where wave-pounded cliffs and grassy lawns cost you nothing but time. Longfellow wrote about this light. British warships passed these shores, and countless mariners aimed for this beacon in storms. Portland's culture blends working waterfront grit with contemporary food and art. You can tour the Portland Museum of Art, peek inside Victoria Mansion for Victorian opulence, or hop a Casco Bay Line's ferry for budget scenery and island village snapshots without paying cruise prices. Budget breakdown: Fort Williams Park and Portland Head, light grounds, free. And Casco Bay Line's round trip to Peaks Island, $8 to $12 per adult. Portland Museum of Art general admission, $15 to $20. Coffee and a bakery breakfast in Old Port, $7 to $10. Lobster roll from a food truck or shack, $18 to $24. Estimated total, $25 to $45 per person. Travel tip: visit on a weekday morning for easier parking near Old Port and shorter lines at bakeries. Consider the evening ferry for golden hour skyline views at the lowest cost. Number 2, Acadia National Park and Bar Harbor, granite peaks and carriage roads. Historical and cultural significance. Acadia is the only national park born from land donated by private citizens who loved Mount Desert Island's beauty. Its story intertwines with the Wabanaki Confederacy, whose people have lived here for millennia, and with early conservationists who protected the island's ponds, granite ridges, and spruce fir forests. You can bike the carriage roads built by John D. Rockefeller Jr., hike ocean edge trails to Thunder Hole, and watch sunrise from Cadillac Mountain when the season's first light touches the continental United States. The classic New England resort town of Bar Harbor sits just outside the park, where Gilded Age mansions once hosted summer rusticators who came for sea breezes and art. Acadia rewards simple plans. Ride the Island Explorer shuttle in season for $0. Stroll Sand Beach, picnic on the pink granite at Otter Cliffs, or climb Gorham Mountain for sweeping views without paying a guide or a tour bus fee. Budget breakdown: Acadia Vehicle Pass, good for 7 days, $35 per car. The optional Cadillac Summit reservation when in effect, $6. Island Explorer shuttle in season, free. Picnic supplies from a Bar Harbor market, $10 to $14. Ice cream on Main Street, $5 to $7. Estimated total, $15 to $30 per person, assuming a group shares a vehicle pass. Travel tip: sunrise on Cadillac is bucket list, but sunsets from Blue Hill, Overlook, or Bass Harbor Headlight are equally stunning and often less crowded. Reserve summit access only if you truly plan to drive up at a specific time. Number 3, Bath and the Kennebec. shipbuilding, heritage, and riverside forts. Historical and cultural significance. The Kennebec River made Bath famous as the city of ships. In the 1800s, its yards launched wooden schooners, clippers, and brigs that carried Maine lumber, fish, and ice around the world. That tradition continues at Bath Iron Works, where modern naval ships take shape along the same riverbanks. At the Maine Maritime Museum, set on a historic shipyard site, you can stand beneath the full-scale sculpture of the Clipper Downeaster and wander exhibits that trace everything from sardine canneries to lighthouse keepers' lives. Downriver, the ruins of Fort Popham guard the Kennebec mouth, and wide-open Popham Beach State Park stretches toward the Atlantic with one of Maine's longest sandy beaches. Bath balances industry and charm. Brick storefronts, riverfront parks, and a small but excellent food scene make it an easy half-day stop between Portland and the mid-coast. Budget breakdown. Maine Maritime Museum admission, $18 to $22. Fort Popham and beach walks, free, with modest state park day use fees if lots are staffed. Coffee and a sandwich in downtown Bath, $10 to $14. Estimated total $20 to $35 per person. Travel tip. Check museum times for daily boat building demos or short river cruises in season, which can be the best value add-on if your budget allows. Number 4. Boothbay Harbor and the Pemaquid Peninsula, gardens, lights, and colonial roots. Historical and cultural significance. Boothbay Harbor grew from shipyards and fishing wharves into a classic summer harbor town. Today it is known for whale-watching boats and boat builders' craftsmanship, but its crown jewel sits a few miles inland at the coastal Maine Botanical Gardens, where forested trails reveal giant troll sculptures and pollinator meadows. Drive east to the Pemaquid Peninsula for deep history and striking rock ledges. At Colonial Pemaquid State Historic Site, archaeologists uncovered the remains of an English fishing station active by the 1620s. A few miles away, the Pemaquid Point Lighthouse rises above dramatic folded lava rock, a natural geology lesson in black and white stripes. Painters have set easels here for decades, and sunset picnics come very cheap. Boothbay and Pemaquid make a powerful 1-2 punch for travelers who want botanical art and rugged seascapes in a single day. Budget breakdown. Coastal Maine Botanical Gardens. General admission, $22 to $28 depending on season and time slot. Colonial Pemaquid Grounds, free or low state site fee when staffed. A Pemaquid Point Lighthouse Park access, $4 to $6. A chowder and a roll from a shoreside shack, $12 to $16. Estimated total $25 to $45 per person. Travel tip. If the gardens feel pricey, walk Boothbay's footbridge, explore Freeland Trust Preserves, and save your paid entry for the Lighthouse Park, which delivers world-class views for a small fee. Number 5. Camden and Rockland, Windjammers, Wyeths, and mountain-to-sea views. Historical and cultural significance. The mid-coast towns of Camden and Rockland have long attracted sailors, artists, and writers. Rockland's Farnsworth Art Museum preserves the work of 3 generations of the Wyeth family and other Maine painters who found inspiration in lobster shacks, hayfields, and granite quarries. A short drive brings you to Owl's Head Transportation Museum, where antique autos and early aircraft celebrate Maine ingenuity. In Camden, climb or drive into Camden Hill State Park. From the Mount Battie Tower, poet Edna St. Vincent Millay looked down on the harbor's white triangles and called Camden the place where God sat when he made the world. The town hosts classic Windjammer schooners that sail Penobscot Bay, and just walking the docks to watch crews raise sails costs nothing. This is the Maine of calendars and kitchen magnets, but it is also a working place where boat builders caulk hulls and lobstermen haul traps before dawn. Budget breakdown. Farnsworth Art Museum. General admission, $18 to $20. As Camden Hills State Park day use fee, $5 to $8 per person or vehicle depending on residency and season. Harbor sandwich or slice and a drink, $10 to $14. Optional Owls, Head Transportation Museum, $12 to $18. Estimated total $20 to $40 per person. Travel tip. Many Camden Land Trust trails are free and deliver quieter versions of Mount Battie views. Hit the public landing at dusk for golden hour schooner photos at zero cost. Number 6. York, Ogunquit, and Kennebunkport, cliff walks and storybook lights. Historical and cultural significance. Southern Maine's coast is dotted with beach towns and headlands where travelers have summered since the railroad age. In York, the candy-striped Nubble Light on Cape Neddick is a classic, still guiding ships through winter fog. In Ogunquit, artists founded a colony in the early 1900s, drawn to surf exploding against granite and tidal rivers that gleam at sunset. The Marginal Way. Cliff Walk links Perkins Cove to the beach with benches for sea watchers on a budget. A short drive north, Kennebunkport blends shipbuilding heritage with presidential history. The Seashore Trolley Museum preserves electric streetcars from around the world, and the public viewpoint toward Walker's Point offers a quick history lesson on modern political summers. This trio delivers Maine's softer side, sandy beaches, scenic walks, and saltwater taffy, at price points you control. Budget breakdown: Nubble Light viewing and coastal parks, free. Marginal Way Cliff Walk, free. A Seashore Trolley Museum admission, $12 to $15. Fried clams or lobster roll at a shack, $16 to $24. Estimated total, $12 to $35 per person. Travel tip: sunrise on Marginal Way gives you the same views as midday crowds without the noise or parking stress. Bring a thermos and own the cliffs. Number 7. Bangor, Bucksport, and Fort Knox, lumber capital and a sky-high observatory. Historical and cultural significance. In the 1800s, Bangor called itself the lumber capital of the world. Logs floated down the Penobscot River, fortunes were made, and Greek Revival mansions rose along Broadway. Today you can walk the riverfront, snap a photo with the Paul Bunyan statue, or note literary footprints tied to contemporary authors who have called the city home. Downriver in Prospect, granite Fort Knox stands watch from the 1840s, built to guard the river during a time of naval insecurity. Next to it, the Penobscot Narrows Bridge Observatory lifts you in an elevator to a glassed-in lookout more than 400 feet above the river, one of the only bridge observatories in North America. The panorama stretches from Bucksport's waterfront to distant highlands where the Appalachian spine begins. This region connects Maine's industrial past to its elevated present, quite literally. Budget breakdown: Bangor Riverwalk and downtown murals, free. Fort Knox and Observatory combined ticket, $10 to $14 per adult. Coffee and a bakery snack in Bangor, $6 to $9. Estimated total, $10 to $25 per person. Travel tip: pair Bangor with a half day at the fort and bridge on your drive toward the Midcoast or Acadia to save on backtracking. Number 8. Baxter State Park and Katahdin, the end of the trail. Historical and cultural significance. Donated in parcels by former Governor Percival Baxter, Baxter State Park preserves Maine's wild heart with strict Forever Wild rules. At its center rises Mount Katahdin, the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail and a sacred mountain to the Wabanaki peoples. Henry David Thoreau wrote about this region's raw power, and hikers still come for that sense of unfiltered wilderness. Baxter is not a typical state park. There are no flush bathrooms at trailheads, no gas stations inside, and strict caps on parking. That is the beauty and the budget advantage. Hiking, wildlife viewing, and picnicking cost little more than a day-use fee and the resolve to unplug. Budget breakdown: non-resident day-use vehicle fee for Baxter entry roads, about $16 per car. And trail maps and parking reservations where required, free to minimal cost. Picnic supplies from Millinocket, $10 to $14. Estimated total, $10 to $20 per person when a group shares a vehicle. Travel tip: if you are not summiting Katahdin, choose Sandy Stream Pond for high moose spotting odds at dawn, or South Branch Falls for a short family-friendly reward. Number 9. Moosehead Lake in Greenville, steamboats, moose, and quiet pines. Historical and cultural significance. At nearly 40 miles long, Moosehead Lake is Maine's largest lake, a northern sea ringed by pines and mountains. Greenville grew as a logging town and gateway to sporting camps where guides led generations of visitors to trout waters and berry-lined ridges. The Moosehead Marine Museum preserves the lake's history aboard the steamboat Katahdin, which still cruises in season on narrated trips that drift past islands and coves. On land, Lily Bay State Park offers affordable shoreline picnics and easy swimming on warm days. Moose tours and paddling trips deliver high wildlife value for moderate cost if you plan ahead. Budget breakdown: lakeside hiking and town walking, free. A Moosehead Marine Museum and cruise on the Katahdin, $18 to $30 depending on length. A Lily Bay State Park day use, $5 to $8 per person or per vehicle. A diner plate or pizza in Greenville, $10 to $14. Estimated total, $15 to $40 per person. Travel tip: dusk and dawn are best for moose sightings along side roads north of town. Keep distance, stay in your vehicle, and never bait or approach wildlife. Number 10. Lubec, Eastport, and West Quoddy Head, the first light in the United States. Historical and cultural significance. At Maine's far eastern tip, the candy-striped West Quoddy Head light marks the easternmost point of the contiguous United States. Lubec and nearby Eastport rode the rise and fall of sardine canneries, smoked herring, and cross-border trade with Canada's Campobello Island. The tides here, among the world's highest, churn through Quoddy Narrows in rips and whirlpools that powered early industry and still fascinate photographers. Walk clifftop trails where the Bay of Fundy's fog blows in like a curtain, then watch it lift to reveal red cliffs and fishing weirs. Wander Eastport's waterfront for galleries and a working pier where lobstermen unload traps. This corner of Maine feels older, quieter, and fiercely local, ideal for budget travelers who prize authenticity over resorts. Budget breakdown: West Quoddy Head State Park trails and lighthouse grounds, free or small day use fee when staffed. Eastport waterfront and galleries, free. A chowder or fish sandwich in town, $12 to $16. Estimated total, $8 to $20 per person. Travel tip: bring your passport if you plan to visit Roosevelt Campobello International Park across the bridge in Canada, a superb low-cost add-on that pairs beautifully with Lubec's Lighthouse Day. Bonus segment: 3 insider budget hacks for Maine. Hack 1. Pair free land trusts with paid highlights. Maine's coast and lakes are lined with land trust preserves and town parks that offer trails, shore access, and viewpoints at no cost. Start your day with a free preserve, then spend on one museum or lighthouse with the best payoff. Hack 2. Travel in shoulder seasons for half the stress. Late May to mid-June and September to mid-October deliver cool nights, fewer lines, and more reasonable hotel rates. Fall foliage adds a free spectacle that turns even short walks into film scenes. Hack 3. Eat like a local, not like a tourist. Skip harborfront sit-downs every day. Balance your food budget with bakeries, co-ops, and takeout counters. A picnic on pink granite or a pier bench is the classic Maine dining room for the price of a sandwich. Suggested 3-day budget itinerary: coast and peaks on a moderate budget. Day 1. Portland and Cape Elizabeth. This morning, walk Old Port's piers and grab a bakery breakfast for $7 to $10. Explore the Portland Museum of Art for $15 to $20 if you love paintings and sculpture. Ferry to Peaks Island for $8 to $12 round trip and loop the shore by foot or bike rental for a couple of hours. Afternoon, drive 15 minutes to Fort Williams Park and Portland Headlight for free cliff walks and photo time. Bring a grocery picnic for $10 to $14 rather than paying for a full restaurant lunch. Evening, return to Old Port for a budget seafood plate or a shared lobster roll in the $18 to $24 range. Catch sunset from the Eastern Promenade for free. Estimated day total, $25 to $45 per person. Day 2, Mid-Coast Classics, Bath to Camden. Morning, start at the Maine Maritime Museum in Bath for $18 to $22 to ground yourself in shipbuilding history. Grab coffee and a sandwich for $10 to $14. Midday, drive to Pemaquid Point Lighthouse for $4 to $6 and wander Colonial Pemaquid's historic site for a minimal fee or free when unstaffed. Eat chowder at a shack for $12 to $16. Afternoon, continue to Rockland for the Farnsworth Art Museum at $18 to $20 or save cash by walking the long, free Rockland breakwater to its lighthouse. Evening, end in Camden. Drive or hike to Mount Battie inside Camden Hills State Park for $5 to $8 and watch schooners return to harbor at dusk. Estimated day total, $25 to $45 per person depending on museum choices. Day 3, Acadia National Park and Bar Harbor. That morning, purchase the Acadia 7-day vehicle pass for $35 per car. Ride the free Island Explorer bus if in season, and start with Sand Beach and the Ocean Path. Walk to Otter Cliffs for world-class views at no extra cost. Midday, picnic on the granite for $10 to $14 from a market deli. Later afternoon, bike a section of Carriage roads if you have bikes, or hike Gorham Mountain for under 2 hours and sweeping sea views. Reserve Cadillac Summit only if you want to drive up at a specific time for sunset. Or evening, stroll Bar Harbor for ice cream at $5 to $7 and harbor views on the town pier. Estimated day total, $15 to $30 per person when sharing a vehicle pass. Trip total estimate, roughly $65 to $120 per person for activities and food across 3 days, excluding lodging, fuel, tolls, and long-distance transport. Legal disclaimer. All cost estimates and travel information in this video are based on publicly available data and typical 2025 seasonal pricing at the time of production. Prices, hours, and access policies can change due to weather, capacity limits, or local regulations. Please verify individual attractions, fees, and reservations before traveling. Budgetly. Living is not sponsored by or affiliated with any locations mentioned. And there you have it, Budgetly Family. 10 unforgettable, affordable places to visit in Maine. From Portland's working waterfront and historic light stations to Acadia's granite ridges, from Windjammer harbors to moose country lakes, Maine proves you can combine rich history, wild landscapes, and fresh coastal flavor without overspending. Which Maine spot are you most excited to explore first? Drop your answer in the comments. If this guide helped you plan a smarter trip, please like, share, and subscribe, and tap the bell so you never miss our weekly budget travel episodes. Download your free U.S. budget road trip guide, linked in the description for printable itineraries and money-saving checklists. Next stop, the Chesapeake Bay charm, colonial history, and waterfront adventures of Maryland, all on a budget you'll love. Until next time, travel smart, live large, and stay budgetly.